Hi friends, it's Thursday. Let's chat. I'm Annette from Annette's Needles, and this is my vlog about what I've done in the sewing room or stitching corner during the week. And what I'm going to do today is make a grime guard. Now what a grime guard is, I'll show you. It's in my project bag. This is the only one I've ever made. It's the first one I've made, and what it does is when you have a lot of fabric, when you're embroidery or cross stitch or any handwork, it just covers the edge so you don't put your grubby little hands on the fabric. And it's really nice. Now this was my first one and I really like it, but it tends to creep into my project. So, and you can see on the back, it wants to go more to the front. So I just probably need to turn it around unless this fabric is holding it. But I'm going to make it a little narrower this time so it fits, but I still need it to be able to hold excess fabric out of my way. And the project I want to make it for does have a lot of excess fabric. Now this one I made to match this project bag. And I really love a project bag, so I'll make a grime guard, then I'll make a project bag to match. So, grime guard today, I have these fabrics that are left over from a quilt I made for my daughter-in-law a long time ago. So I kind of laid out which ones have enough to make a 6-inch strip. That was a 6.5-inch strip. So I'll cut a 6-inch strip, but I might make wider elastic rows. So that's just to start us off, to let you know what I'm going to be working on today. And I'll show you at the end the process and how it finished up. But first, last week I told you about my finish that I didn't have in here, and it was my windmill counted cross stitch that I still need to find a frame for, but I'm very happy it's done. And so the grime guard is going to be for this project, which is called King of Flowers. It's from Lucas S. The grime guard I'm going to be making is for this project. It's called King of Flowers by Lucas S. But you see there's a lot of fabric off to the side, and when I do hold on to it, when it's not in the stand, when I'm sitting down on my sofa trying to work on it, I don't want to get this dirty, like if I sip on coffee or whatever. You know, you have body oils. But look at the cute little lamb needle minder I just got as a gift. Isn't that cute? So anyway, that's my project for today. And in this box, I found these nice little 5-inch squares that I have put interfacing on. I pressed it all on, and I can pull it off, but I don't even remember what I put it on for. So that will be some project someday. But anyway, today is going to be grime guard, and then I'll come back and chat with you about how I did it. Okay, see you later. So here's the slideshow of putting it together. That was the roll of border fabric that I had, and I ironed it out, but the narrowest part was 5 inches, so that's why I decided to cut it at 5 inches. This ruler is 5 inches, so I made my edges all straight. Those measurements aren't right. Next time I would do 6 inches and 25 inches of elastic. Folded hem over narrow and then a little bit wider so the elastic would fit in. Like I said, 1/4 inch elastic. Sewing it together, and then you sew it to make one big circle. Then you insert your elastic, only I forgot to leave a slot, so I had to unpick about 1 inch. Inserted my elastic and slipped it over the hoop to see if it would fit. And it does fit my 9-inch hoop. It does fit, as you'll see in the next clip. Okay, so now hopefully you've seen the slideshow of each of the steps. It's all put together, it's all done. Snap the elastic in. Now for the moment of truth. It's very much narrower than I originally intended to have it. But this border strip that I found in my box was this narrow. So let's see. So the fabric was like it was pre-cut. Let's see if it's big enough for my needs on this project. Well, I could have made the elastic a little tighter, but it really is going to work. So my grime guard does fit, even though it's only 5 inches. 6 inches might have been a little bit better, and I think I might go back in and pull the elastic a little bit tighter. Let's see. Yeah, I could take a couple of inches out of the elastic, but it's going to work. On the back, I of course, standing here, I didn't roll up, but normally I would roll this up, put it under the elastic also, so that that's somewhat protected. So there's grime guard. So I took some pictures of the grime guard on. I will next time make the elastic shorter by about 5 inches. I did pull about 4 inches out to make it tighter. This is the front of both of my grime guards. I did turn the one around that I showed you earlier, and you can see the bulk of it is at the back, and that's the back of the other one, and it does cover all the fabric, so I will use it. So in closing, I did make it tighter because it was too floppy. So I unpicked and pulled out some of the elastic and cut off about 4 inches. But I think next time I would start with a 25-inch cut. Now, how I decided the measurement originally was that is a 9-inch hoop, or 8.5 and 9. Anyway, so 9 times 4 is 36. And then I doubled that. And no, I 1.5'd that. I figured like you do a curtain, 1.5. And then I did half of that for the elastic. But for this project, the elastic needed to be tighter. So I would change that and say the measurements should be 6 by 60 for a 9-inch hoop, 8 or 9-inch hoop. And then 6 by 60 and 25 inches of elastic. Or even maybe a little less. It depends on how stretchy your elastic is. So that was my day. It took about an hour, really. If I didn't ever have to unpick, but of course I did. But I want to show you what else I finished up during that time. I put the borders on this block that was in the box. So I have this ready to make a project bag. Now my project bags that I usually make, I put that windmill in there, that I usually make are 16 inches square. But my ruler is only 15. And after I made the last project bag, and I've made probably 4 or 5 of them, I thought, why don't I make it the measurement of my big square ruler? It will be much easier than trying to shift and adjust and cut. So that's what this one will end up being. Probably, maybe a little less, because it was a 12.5-inch block and I only added a couple inches. So anyway, that was my project day, and it was fun. And so I'm probably going to do another Flosstube to explain more about my cross stitch, but this vlog is kind of more in the sewing room instead of in my stitching corner. So anyway, I guess that is it, and I'll see you next Thursday. Bye.